It's been a slow time in terms of content lately when it comes to XDefiant. When the game first came out, my mission with the channel was voicing my constructive criticisms and trying to help point out areas of improvement for the game. Over time, I started to notice I was perceived as negative and nitpicking. I also noticed that things I said were either taken to be hyperbole, such as the queue time issues for mouse and keyboard input that has since pushed me to fully swapping the controller. I still believe this is a controller game. If it ever does have a competitive scene, it'll be all on controller. I highly doubt professional XDefiant would be played cross-input, or even less likely to be two separate leagues for controller and mouse and keyboard. Keep in mind we don't even have the distinction between the two inputs on ranked, nor do we have a solo queue for ranked. I started to notice issues I would point out were either fixed very slowly or are still in the game and yet to be fixed. I feel like a lot of the positives get overlooked because of how long that it's taken to get to the point that we are at now. The hit registration feels better, but it still needs work. The audio is better, but it still needs work. Specifically with the audio, I feel like they need to prioritize sounds better. Number one priority should be enemy footsteps. That should have priority over your teammate footsteps, over your teammate's gunfire, over the ADS device halfway across the map you can hear croaking like a frog, or whatever that noise it is that it makes. Sometimes I can hear an enemy turret, and other times it's completely silent sitting in a dark shadowy corner. Sometimes, especially on smaller maps like Arena or Rockefeller, I can't hear shit because the audio engine is just cluttered with a bunch of useless noise. Yes, it's noise of things that are going on within the match, but it just prevents you from hearing any useful information that could benefit your decision making. The only way to counter it is to sit patiently and wait for the noise to subside and then decide what to do or where to go next. The audio cutting out when you're low health makes it impossible to hear footsteps, which is something that really favors people playing in parties together compared to solo players. I say this because the moment you take one player out, if they have somebody coming to clean up the kill, you can't even hear them. Yes, you can assume that they have a teammate in their back pocket, but you can't tell which direction they're coming from unless you're butt-fucking a corner and have deduced things to one possible angle of attack. Gunfire is honestly louder than it needs to be, in my opinion. Things like that, or even the heartbeat noise or whatever when you get low health, are there for immersion, but they take away from readability, which I think is important from a competitive aspect and just the consistency aspect while playing in general. One thing that I really appreciate about XDefiant that actually gets my praise is the option for input-based matchmaking, but I can see how it on default has hurt the keyboard and mouse player base, probably causing some players to quit from the sheer matchmaking times. People literally spending more time in the menus waiting to get into matches than actually playing them is unacceptable. Another thing that I highly praise is the fact that we can see the enemy ping on the scoreboard, which can help diagnose some connection problems that you're having within a match. That's one of my biggest gripes with Black Ops 6 actually. They literally hide the enemy ping from the scoreboard, but I can tell I'm playing versus an island boy and not the kind who kiss each other on Instagram because of the packet loss and other indicators going off on their kill cam, as well as my player model being in a totally different location on the kill cam than where I was standing when I got shot. The matchmaking on COD has more than enough players to match based off connection alone, but they purposely have to mess with things, even to the extent of having to hide the fact you're having players with insane ping coming into your lobby and bringing their insane lag compensation into play. I've been tempted to go into the game chat and just try to ask everybody in the lobby what their ping is, which technically would be useless because I don't even have any proof that what they say is really what their ping is. That little caveat is the reason why I will not purchase Black Ops 6. When I recently got a controller, it came with a month of Game Pass, and I used that to level up my weapons for Warzone. So I essentially got to play the level grinding simulator for free. If you want my opinion on the new Call of Duty, it's cool, but between the maps, spawns, game design in general seeming to cater to low attention spans and the need for constant stimulation, the game feels like nothing really matters. The only enjoyment I find in it is honestly playing Warzone with the one friend I still play with, and I think I enjoy the company more than the gameplay, although admittedly it does have its moments. That said, you can go from winning a match to being annoyed at some BS literally less than 2 minutes later. On top of that, the way they handled the recent debacle with accidentally bringing back XP tokens accumulated from prior COD games that they took away at the launch of Black Ops 6 taking them away again, and then deciding that they will give them back again at some point after Backlash, it's clear they'll do anything they can to manipulate player engagement with the game. From dumb shit like the recon perk and then pussyfooting around nerfing that, to them botching the new Warzone launch with audio issues, performance issues, and more. Gaming in general for AAA has been down kinda bad. I don't think that that's a hot take, especially for the FPS genre. Let's get back to XDefiant though, because this community always has cod in their mouth like they've got an insatiable appetite for fish. Custom games. It's rumored to be coming this Wednesday, but I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed further back. I see a lot of people looking at it like this is something that will really bolster the community, but aside from the content creators and their communities, I don't think this is going to be the saving grace, just like bomb mode wasn't. I remember people acting like bomb mode was going to change the game, only for it to be one of the hardest modes to find matches in. I think custom matches will be great for testing things like audio. From what I've heard, every faction has different footsteps sounds. I'm not sure if that's exactly the case, but it's something I want to find out. I'm sure there's new mechanics in the game to be discovered by seeing enemies from a third-person perspective. I think this will be fun to be able to play with various set rules, and great for the competitive scene, great for wagers and things like that. But for the average player who just gets on the game, I don't think custom games is going to do it for them. Unless, what if custom games really allows us to make new game modes by adjusting certain parameters such as the gravity or other things, which I highly doubt. What if we could add bots into the match and 1v1 somebody with 5 bots on each team and call it bot kill races? Or play a team, two people on one team versus 6 bots and see who can get the most kills or something like that. I would honestly be pretty shocked to see them have bots in the custom match as an option. I think that would open up new possibilities for player-created PvE modes and ideas though. I think something like player-created content could be huge for the game. Dota literally came from a Warcraft mod. Counter-Strike was a mod for Half-Life. PUBG was a mod for Arma 3. There's so many great things that can stem from the creativity within the community. At the end of the day, we play games for fun. Some play for money, fame, attention, whatever. I haven't posted any videos in almost a week because I don't want to feel like I want to repeat myself or be negative in general. It gets to a point where it feels like if I see problems, I might as well just not say shit, because something will only get done if enough people have a problem with it collectively. It feels like I step in the line of fire when I voice concerns, and for what? Stagnation? The demand for these kind of talks about the game has gone down, so I do appreciate anybody who still listens very much. I play games for enjoyment and have this channel to share my passion and experience with others. That said, with my previous experience with another YouTube channel, I know what it looks like to pigeonhole yourself all too well. And I'm sure if you look at the views on any future video that isn't this game specifically on this channel, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I would rather be the type of creator who doesn't say anything when I don't have anything to say, rather than just look for and farm shit to talk about. The same way that I'm probably not the type of person to announce my departure, so if you don't hear from me for a while or something, just assume I'm taking a break. I never looked at YouTube as some career path for myself, or anything other than an outlet for a 33-year-old with no friends to connect with like-minded people. Okay, I might have like 5 friends or something, but we barely even talk now that we're all grown with families and shit. I kind of understand the thought behind the devs wanting to slow progression down in XDefiant, because once you have everything that you want unlocked, all there is to do is hyper-focus on performance. I can't even tell you how many games I've been going like 25-10, and I rage quit because I get angry about the way the enemy team's playing. Or I die with the teammate next to me who's completely clueless to the enemy right beside them. You know you're getting burnt out when you're winning and you're still mad. It's funny because I used to use the games as an escape, and now I need an escape from the games sometimes. I would default to getting on games because of depression. They were a place where I felt in control, where there wasn't this feeling of so many variables outside of my control. I didn't have to worry about whether people liked me or accepted me. It was just what it was, whatever I made it. It got to a point where I wouldn't even play a game with my full attention because I would check out in some regard, needing to listen to a podcast or YouTube video while playing because I would get bored if not. It got to a point where, what's the point in trying my absolute best or giving my full focus when the result is pretty much the same? Just some time killed between sleeping and going back to work. As I get older, it's harder to quiet all the thoughts in my head and just focus on something as trivial as a game. It's just a digital children's toy. Meanwhile, we got people dying in the family, broken friendships, late mortgages, credit card debt, car needs a new repair, there goes another $500. It's funny because I can rarely go to sleep without hearing something play off my TV or phone, whether that's a show, movie, YouTube video, whatever. It's like my mind's constantly obsessed with survival. What's next? What do I have to account for that I'm not expecting that's about to throw me for a loop again? The known unknowns. How much thinking do I have to do to discover the unknown unknowns? I feel like I'm fucking Donald Rumsfeld or some shit. ADHD is what I was said to have as a kid. They gave me Ritalin, Concerta, Adderall. Now it's weed, alcohol. I used to think I'm not hyperactive. As I got older, I realized it's not me that's physically hyperactive. It's my constantly racing brain. It's my constant need to work on things to completion, finish them, and then feel this sense of none of it ever really mattered in the first place afterwards. A vicious cycle. I know this is supposed to be a video game video, but this shit all ties into why I get so annoyed at various things. And people probably way more neurotypical get just as, or maybe more annoyed at the games as I do. The intense rage at sometimes the smallest things that lead to 30 minutes and sometimes an hour or more of bad mood after getting off a game. It's usually technical stuff that sets me over the edge more than anything. The things the least in my control. I feel like games appeal to the control freak in all of us, and nothing can sometimes hurt more than feeling like a bystander watching something you love go downhill when you feel like you know what needs to be done to fix it. I feel like at times my words carry no weight, so I might as well just shut up, but other times I feel like too much time has passed without me giving an effort. You never know unless you try. I can't lie, the lower growth on my channel recently has me less motivated to make content. Not because of the idea of money or anything. Trust me, YouTube makes less money than McDonald's for 99% of monetized creators within gaming. That's just a bro stat off the top of my head, but I guarantee you most YouTube partners do not earn a livable income. I have another channel that's monetized, and the most I ever made in a month was like $350 or so. And that was with dropping many videos consistently. I don't make gaming videos because of money, it's because of passion and the progression. The feeling of stagnation or declining can demotivate anybody. For instance, in a game without progression to be had, players may feel stagnant. Without any new news to talk about, things eventually decline and sometimes into obscurity. This is why it can be depressing to think about the whole idea of, this isn't an airport, no need to announce your departure. The truth is, nobody really cares. This could inspire one to be more selfish and care less about others. It's only right to have that same energy, right? It's everybody for themselves anyways. This could cause you to keep to yourself and shut off from others. Maybe if you're lucky, it makes you more grateful for the ones who do care. And those are the only ones who truly ever deserve an explanation for anything you do. This was mostly a talk for the people who do care, but equally for my own selfish reasons of needing to express myself. Hopefully it can be useful that I put it on a microphone and didn't just type it out on my phone at 1:30 a.m. cathartically. I appreciate you all and I hope you're in good spirits. I hope this game does well, and I will hopefully have some new content for you soon. Hopefully this video wasn't too dark or whatever, but I mean shit. I can give you me, or I can attempt to be whatever people are willing to accept. Which one you want? That wouldn't be me though. Take it easy. Catch you all on the next one. Thank you.